Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Sorry, I had scrolled down reading ahead. So, good morning and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Community Church. We are a welcoming congregation where we strive to transform ourselves and the world through love, wonder, and connection. My name is Carrie Williams Jensen, and I use she, her pronouns, and I serve on the board and choir, ushering, worship associate, lots of different things. And this morning, we'll explore the monthly theme of nurturing gratitude by remembering that generosity and gratitude go hand in hand in so many parts of our lives. We will honor and charge our neighborhood coordinators as part of our care committee and their generosity to coordinate the efforts to care for the congregation in our times of need. And that's coming later? Okay, that's what I thought. It's just, I was asked, so hopefully that person heard the response. Yes. All right. And then the auction closing last night, we are reminded once again of how truly grateful we are for the outstanding financial generosity of our congregation. And Amy, do you have numbers?
Good morning. It is a beautiful day in the neighborhood. I would like to start off by saying thank you to the Stew Crew, the Stewardship Committee, an awesome group of people who we work very well together, very tight together, and I want to thank them. I want to thank Daniel, our admin, who you do not know behind the scenes, but I'm going, Daniel! Quick, So I thank him very, very much for all the efforts that he puts in. But lastly, but not leastly, is to you, the congregation. I can make as many emails as I want. I can stand up here and beg and plead and all that, but it really takes you, our generous and community, to bring in and bid and donate, which really, really makes the auction the best. We do not have final totals for you. I don't anticipate we will have final totals for you for another week or so. Really, it depends on people paying their invoices and what comes about from there. But I can tell you this. Yes, we had a very substantial goal for auction, which, as you heard, ended last night at 7 p.m., and it was a flurry of activity, starting at about 6:20. It couldn't even keep up with things were just rolling. Outbid, overbid, he bid, she bid. I was like, oh, okay. As of last night, we had a lofty goal of $30,000. This is one of our biggest fundraisers we do every year, other than the Big Pledge campaign. So this is very, very important to the financial health of our congregation. So as of last night, our auction goal was $29,455. So that, hey, give yourself a hand. Now, please don't think the Stewardship Committee is going, oh, rats, darn. We aren't. We are ecstatic because we know that number is going to climb. As people pay their invoices, we sometimes tend to find donations come in and things like that. Someone will say, I really wanted to get into that dinner. And then we'll be like, okay, fine, come on. And then that money will go in under general donation. So it will pick up. We will break 30. I can't see it yet because it's not there. Thank you to the 46 paid invoices that we have already as of when I left the house this morning. That was close to $11,000. It's already been paid. So thank you for being prompt. Thank you. We ask that the rest of you be as prompt as you can so we can tuck this in nice and neat, and the Stew Committee can breathe until after the holidays. Please remember, if you're able, we would love for you to cover the credit card fees. If we do not cover our own credit card fees for our own invoices, the church will have to pay those, and then obviously that gets deducted from the auction total. So thank you for doing that. Donors, next week on Monday or Tuesday, give me a little bit, you will be getting your donor receipts, which will include the names and addresses and contact information of all the people who will be at your parties or items that they've won. We ask that you please, not necessarily Monday or Tuesday, but even if your party or event isn't for months away, please contact them to say, yes, I see you, yes, you're going to be here. That way you can get your little email group going so that they know that next March they will be going to that event. Please, if you've done an item, whether it be food or a beverage or a necklace or some beautiful quilts, I saw one of the quilts went, yes. Please don't just drop them here in the lobby. They tend to get stuck in corners and get moved, and sometimes they're in the way of the other committees that want to have meetings and things out there. And I know Daniel, Reverend Sarah, and Peter do not need to be moving and dusting and cleaning around those items. We don't want them to get lost or broken. If you do have an item, please make sure you've contacted your people. If they're going to be here on a Sunday and you're going to be here, of course you're welcome to bring it and exchange it to them. Just don't drop it and say, well, you can pick it up someday when you're free. So in the end, I just want to again say thank you, thank you. It's a lot of fun, it's a lot of work, but it is a lot of fun. We enjoy it. This was the biggest catalog we've had so far. So far, it's not the biggest total we've had, but I have a feeling that's going to change. So I am going to head out. I have a grandson that's sick at home. So you guys take care. Thank you. Appreciate it. See you next year.
And just for anybody that today is your first time, I think I saw a couple of folks coming in. The finances and everything related to the church is very transparent, and we, as a congregation, are responsible for keeping this all rolling. And so I know that when I first came, I was kind of like, oh my gosh, money, again, right, in the church. But it is totally because this is our thing. And so that is why we are so passionate about the auction and everything. So please don't think that you would contribute and it just kind of poofs and disappears. So anyway, I just wanted to say. So whether you are here for the first time or the 1,000th time, welcome. Whatever you are facing in your own life, welcome. This is a place where we try our best to be real with one another, to get through hard things together, and to remind ourselves and one another of the values that ground and center us, that motivate and move us. Whoever you are, whatever your faith journey, whomever you love, you are welcome here. We welcome all who seek to know the sacred and all who seek to make our world more just. Our commitment is to be together in covenant, so please join me in our affirmation of who this community is, beginning with that all-important word, love is the message of this church, and service is our way. This is our great covenant together, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Please rise in body or spirit to join in singing our opening hymn, We Give Thanks, 1010 in our teal soft-cover hymnal.
Y'all may be seated. I'm Reverend Sarah Goodman, and I use she, her pronouns. Will you join me in saying our chalice lighting words as Alice Hartzog lights our chalice this morning? This small flame alone cannot warm our lives. We must carry it with our dark into the world as a beacon, leading towards the ever-expanding, beloved community of inclusivity, care, and mutual aid that will sustain us all through the storm. Thank you. Please join me now in the spirit of prayer or meditation. Find a comfortable place for your body, whatever that is for you, and notice your breathing. See if you can find a center. And take a moment to just be, allowing stillness to settle in. These words are from the Reverend Laura Horton Ludwig. The wheel of the year has turned again. Once more, the Thanksgiving season has arrived. How shall we sing our song of gratitude now? For what shall we give thanks? For this moment, for friends near and far, for our breath, for love, for courage and clarity, for strength, for delight, for laughter, for beauty, for the tables around which we gather, for the food we enjoy with friends, seasoned with love and memory, for the sun and the moon and the stars in the sky, for the trees who have seen so much and still stand proud, stretching themselves to the sky, for the bright voices of children, for the wisdom of elders, for actions that bless the world, for hard work that makes a difference, for music and art and celebration, for generosity, for compassion, for endurance, for joy, and for hope. For all these things, we give thanks. Amen. This morning, we hold in love and light our beloved members, Rita Beasley, whose sister died this week, Mary Virginia Curry, whose sister died last week, and we also hold Lisa Poe, whose brother Kyle's memorial service will be held here on Friday at 3 p.m. All are welcome. Let us remember we are all deeply interconnected in the web of life. Blessed be. So we return to our centers of connection every week because we know that these rituals bring us closer together and allow us to share the joy and hope and sorrows and fears that shape our lives. In the next few minutes of contemplative time, we'll be sharing together the experience of witnessing and sharing our joys and hopes by lighting a candle, our fears and sorrows by placing a stone. In a moment, I'll invite y'all to come forward and participate in the ritual, but first I want to invite those who are online to participate by putting your name and stone or candle into the chat box, and we can include you in the ritual later on. And anyone who needs a candle lit for you, Carrie can light a joy or hopeful candle for you. Gail and Diane. Yes, Carolyn. Oh, we've got many people. Thank you. We'll light these candles for you. For anyone who would like a stone placed for you, Adina can place a stone. Please raise your hand. And now I invite you to participate in the ways that you are invited to. If you would like to rise and light a candle, come around this way and line up. If you'd like to place a stone, you may come up the center and place a stone. You may, of course, do both at any time. And I invite the rest of you to witness this experience. And we're doing it starting with the stones for our people at home. For our stones at home, we have Cindy C., Rita, Susanna, and Chris. For our candles from home, we have Cindy C., Linda Berkman, and Chris. And now we'll place one final stone, our big, big stone for all the sorrows and fears that continue to weigh us down. And we'll light one final candle, candle of hope and joy to carry us into the new week. Join me now in singing our sung prayer response, There is a Love. There is a love holding me. There is a love holding all that I love. There is a love holding all we rest in this love. There is a love holding us. There is a love holding all that we love. There is a love holding all we rest in this love.
Amen. And hi there, my name is Adina Danuv. I use she or they pronouns, and I am your Director of Lifespan Religious Exploration. And as we continue to explore the theme of nurturing gratitude this month, it reminds me that each year, just as our prayer said, we get closer to Thanksgiving. And we tend to talk a little more and more about being thankful. This may be true for you, yes? Seeing some nods, okay. It reminded me of a story that I'm going to share. One time, many years ago, at some other UU church somewhere, the religious exploration class was preparing for Thanksgiving. When the religious educator, we'll call her Miss D, told the group to draw a picture of something for which they were thankful, she thought about the children in her class. As often happens, they came from all over and had different backgrounds, and she thought of how little some of the children who lived in a deteriorating neighborhood might actually have to be thankful for. She knew that most of the class would draw pictures of turkeys and beautiful bounty of Thanksgiving tables and cornucopia they've never actually seen before, because this is what they believed was expected of them, right? So when Miss D gathered the papers and was looking through them the next Sunday, she was taken aback by Sam's picture. Sam was a quiet student who never said very much and always just sort of happened to be near Miss D no matter where she was. Sam wasn't the most artistic or the most musical, not the most outgoing, and not the one who was most likely to volunteer. And Sam's drawing was simply this, a hand. It was definitely a hand, she kind of turned it around. It's a hand, but whose hand was it? So looking at the pictures later, the class was captivated by Sam's simple image, and they started to guess out loud who it may belong to. Now, one of our values is pluralism, so one student said, "I think it must be the hand of God that gives us food." "It's definitely a farmer," said another, "because they grow the food." Well, it looks more like a doctor, said a kid, because they take care of us. Actually, said one kid who always seemed to have an answer for everything, there's a likelihood that it is supposed to be all of the hands that help us, but Sam surmised that they could not draw all of the hands, so they just drew one of them as a representation. We might have some students in all RE classes that share answers just like that. Does anyone who hasn't guessed the story or heard the story before, that would give away the ending? Yeah, it sounds like a child, but the downstairs one's in my pocket. Okay. Maybe it's the voice of God, someone said. Okay, so without giving away, if you know where I'm going, does anyone have a guess of who the hand might belong to? Maybe it's Sam's. Keep guessing. No, maybe it's somebody else. Maybe it's someone from the family, yeah. Okay, wow, nobody got the answer. Miss D had almost forgotten about Sam in her pleasure of hearing the class so responsive. Y'all were gonna be more responsive when I wrote this. And before she knew it, the service had ended and the parents were already at the classroom door to pick up their students. So on the way out of the room, she bent down, as we do with small children. I'm not gonna do it, but you know where I'm going here. And asked Sam whose hand it was. Sam mumbled, "It's yours," and walked away. Then Miss D recalled that she had taken Sam by the hand from time to time, as she often did with all the children. Now, this didn't actually happen in an RE class, and I couldn't leave without telling you a real story, and then I'll get back to this, because pluralism. So I've been here for a while. We've done a couple of things. We're drawing one week, okay? And a student draws this really neat drawing, and so we're looking at it, and I'm like, okay, what is this picture? They're like, it's a picture of God. And I'm like, okay, awesome, what's that? Well, those are God's eyes, yep. And that there, God's nose, gotcha. I see the mouth, these, shoulders. Okay, well, if those are the eyes, then what are these? Well, those are God's nipples. Because we all have nipples. So, this did not come from an RE class, but it could have come from any RE class, right? The story I shared actually, the one I just told you was true. The one before that actually came from Reader's Digest, author unlisted. And yet, it could have happened in any class, or any sanctuary, or anywhere in UU community. It could have been this community. Because what I love about this story is how Sam's drawing reminds us that gratitude isn't just the big or widely known things, right? The blessings we expect, the feasts and the special events and the material abundance. Sometimes the deepest gratitude comes from something small, ordinary, and quiet, like holding a hand, offering a smile, or just feeling safe and seen, which I've heard many of you share time and time again is why you come back into this room, right? A simple act of holding a hand for someone can be the moment that stands out, the thing worth giving thanks for above all else. So as we continue the season of gratitude, I challenge you to look for the hands. Look for small gestures and helpful things that often go unnoticed because they may actually make a big difference. Let it remind you of this story and not only of the importance of noticing small things, but being grateful for them as well. And I'm going off script again. I put up a turkey on the board outside, and there's little feathers, and you can write something on your little feather and add it to our turkey. And if you don't, it will be a very naked turkey. It might even have nipples. I don't know. Please add feathers to our turkey. It is an interactive show of community gratitude. So I'm going to share what I'm grateful for, which is you all, our time together, and my friends who are heading to class with me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Adina. Now, please join me in our offering and acknowledging all the ways we give to this church and this world. Again, as I said in the beginning, we give because this is our church and we value what it does for us, to us, and through us to our community and our world. May there be an offering to sustain and grow the life and mission of this church inside and outside our walls. May we give in love and in hope. Thank you for your offering and all the ways you give to our life and ministry with your time, talent, and treasure and trust. Together, our gifts allow us to expand and strengthen the tapestry of love, wonder, and connection that blesses this church and transforms us and our world. Our reading this morning is called Communion at the BP by Paula Gordon-Lepp. And I can say I have a similar story. Pride was it's hard. I don't know how many folks are Southern, but in my blue-collar family, it was a matter of pride. You don't ask for help. So see if you can relate to this person. It was a little thing, really. This offer to fill my tire. I was unscrewing the valve cap and heard a voice behind me. "Here, I'll get that for you." "Oh, it's okay, I've got it," is what I normally say to such overtures. This knee-jerk reaction to refuse. I am the one who offers to help. I am the one who serves. But perhaps it was the eager spirit on his face or his brown eyes full of hopeful connection that caused me to say, "Okay." I felt the vibration of his unspoken benediction. "I can't do much for you, fellow weary traveler, but I can do this. Lay your burden down, and I will carry it for a bit." And I couldn't help but wonder how many times I have denied someone the blessing of serving because I have been too stubborn or prideful to accept their gift. As I was standing there in the sun-drenched gas station parking lot, the hiss and tick of the air pump sounded very much like a psalm. I watched his hands, a few shades lighter than that Goodyear rubber, filling more than just my tire with air, while goodness and grace swirled around us, stronger than the fumes of gasoline.
Hello, everyone. The choir already sang Wild Mountain Time last week, and they did an incredible job. But I'm gonna just play a little piano music, and I'm grateful for Meg Lindholm, who I don't maybe see, but I teach weekly here. I don't know if you guys know that. I teach her piano. We have a great time, and she brought this piece to my attention. So it's a piece by Philip Glass, and it goes on forever, so I'm just gonna play a bit of it.
I am fairly confident that I can say I'm not the only one who found stuff to be grateful for this week. Yeah, we'll get there in a little bit. But it wasn't only a good week. I struggled with disappointment, with grief, with feelings of overwhelm in the face of the many obstacles in the path of our thriving future. And I had to acknowledge, still had to acknowledge the many things to be grateful for this week. We had one of the brightest full moons of the year, lighting the sky even before the sun set and making the fading leaves, those colors, burn bright again. Most of us, have adjusted moderately well to the time change. Those of us parenting youngish kids and teens made it through a monster weekend with Halloween, the time change, and a 4-day weekend, my kids, but some kids too, with our sugared up, time-addled children. On a larger stage, Abigail Spanberger, who used to attend our church, won her race to become the first female governor of Virginia. New York City elected a Muslim Democratic Socialist to be their new mayor. And many, many, many people made their displeasure with the state of our nation known with their votes on Tuesday. I have so much gratitude for the beauty of autumn this year, and for the hope I feel when I think of the people who are refusing to be bullied into silence, who are using their vote as their voice to say we deserve better than this. When we are supporting politicians who are living the values they proclaim, when we are also living the values that we proclaim, we are doing what we are called to do, to transform the world into the one we dream about, where no one goes hungry or dies from lack of medical care. When I say living our values, I mean our individual values, of course, but also our collective Unitarian Universalist values. In particular, one of the values articulated in our governing documents of the Unitarian Universalist Association. I'm going to read all of them, and you'll guess which one. Our values, as articulated, are justice, equity, transformation, pluralism, interdependence, and generosity. Yep, lots of nods. And all of those are centered in love. Of course, since we're talking about gratitude, we have to speak of generosity. The official UUA language that describes this value is, we cultivate a spirit of gratitude and hope. We covenant to freely and compassionately share our faith, presence, and resources. Our generosity connects us to one another in relationships of interdependence and mutuality. We are promising so much with that. We're promising to give of ourselves, not just of the resources that sit in our bank accounts, but to generously give our hope away to others who need that hope like a lifeline. We are called to ease suffering and magnify joy. We are called into daily practices of gratitude that reshape our experience of the world into one Brené Brown describes as inviting joy into our lives. Because in her many years of sociological research, it became clear that generosity is often inspired by joy, which we cultivate in our lives through a deep practice of gratitude. And it's clear that it's more than just an attitude of gratitude, as you hear people say from time to time, but it's a joyful, the joy is built on a foundation of practicing gratitude and reflection and expressing our gratitude in our hearts through our actions of generosity. Jean-Antoine Petit-Sen wrote, "It's not what we have that constitutes our abundance, but what we appreciate." Our abundance, the feeling of having more than we need, the feeling of overwhelming gifts, our abundance comes not from what we actually have in front of us or in the bank or wherever, but from the appreciation that we feel and the gratitude we share for all the small and large things that we recognize as gifts. One of the things I know about this community is it's a very generous community. We give from what abundance we have. Some of us have an abundance of time, and perhaps they're currently furloughed or retired or just underemployed, and so you can be here regularly, and you can bring your presence and passion to this community. Some of us have an abundance of talent to share, maybe speaking in the service or leading groups or building furniture. Thank you, John, for the amazing table. Or creating music and art, and even arranging our chairs in the sanctuary. That is an art I haven't mastered yet, Cindy, sorry. I'm working on it, practicing. And some of us have an abundance of money, and donate it freely to better the lives of people in our communities, including out in the world, but also in our auction, and donating in the generous pledge drive, and donating to the minister's discretionary fund. Do you know what that is? Okay, I see some nods, but mostly no. Okay, so it's a fund that you all created that allows me to give money to people in emergencies, people outside our community and inside our community. If there's an emergency need, we can meet it. No time, no talent, no treasure goes unappreciated here. Each and every one of us shares what we have to give to help us all thrive. We are living out our values, putting them to the test, and making them the cornerstone of how we are in the world, and maybe even encouraging others to do the same. One of the best ways we do that is through our amazing care committee. This morning, we would like to make it even easier for you to receive care by explaining a little bit about how the care team works. First off, we have our co-chairs of the care committee who will wave their hands wildly in the air, and we can give them applause. Victoria and Patricia. They are the main people who communicate between myself and the committee and the board. They're the organized ones, the big picture people holding it all. They work closely once a month at a time with our monthly care coordinators. These folks gather names and situations and distribute them to the folks who write cards and set up meals. These are our amazing neighborhood coordinators. So the monthly coordinators rotate month by month, and they usually are also a neighborhood coordinator, so we'll get to them in a minute. Each of these folks looked after people who are in their neighborhoods. Some of the neighborhoods are large in number, but small geographically, and some are the opposite, with fewer people, but spread out over a larger area. Do we have the map? You can see the map. There it is. Everyone who becomes a friend, sorry, Scott, what? We have fun back here. Oh, yes, good job. Everyone who becomes a friend of the congregation is assigned to one of these neighborhood groups. So you have the map here, and they're all named after colors, as you can see. And I think the plan was for the leads of these neighborhood groups to wear their colors today, so we'll see if they did. When I say your name, and if you're here, please rise or raise your hand to be recognized. So, first we have the red group with Joan Evans as the coordinator. She isn't able to be here, as far as I know, because her husband George is ill. We have the pink group with Robin Allman, who is not here. That's okay. You all know what Robin Allman looks like. She's in Europe right now. Well. Oh, who is? Someone else in the pink group is going to stand up? Yay, Dick! Yay! We have the blue group with Sandy Milizer. Yay! We have green, I think, with Jean Smith, or... I just want to say that the green group right now... Oh, open. Alice? Okay, if you want to coordinate the green group, let us know. Okay. And then we have yellow with Risha. Hi, Risha. Purple with Ann Stevens. Yay! Wearing a gorgeous purple outfit. We have, I'm at purple, silver with Lisa Taylor. Okay. Not. We've had some changes. Okay, I'm still working out all the details. Orange with Patricia Kinchelo. Yay, wearing a gorgeous orange shirt in the back. And for our out-of-area folks and anyone else who wasn't already covered, we have Anne, once again. Anne Walpole is the coordinator. There's lots of folks caring for lots of folks here. Let's show our gratitude again with one big round of applause for everybody. Thank you again for all that you do for all of us. It is so, so good that you're with us. And remember, everyone are reading from Paula Gordon-Lepp, and I couldn't help but wonder how many times I have denied someone the blessing of serving because I have been too stubborn to accept their gift. We have these generous givers in our congregation. Don't forget that it's also generous to ask for help when you need it, because then you give the others opportunity to share their gifts with you. It's not called mutual aid for nothing. We all give and we all receive at different points in our lives, and sometimes giving what we have while also needing something that someone else is offering, that happens too. But if we want to survive, we have to share our resources, our skills, our talents with each other, whatever they may be. So take what you need, give what you can, and we will make it through this storm together. Let's make it so. Amen. So let's sing our thanks and praise for that amen by rising in body or spirit to sing number 128, For All That Is Our Life. Gratitude, let's reach out to one another if you are willing and able. Grab some hands of those near you. However that feels comfortable for you. When you go, practice extreme and loving gratitude. When you go, go in peace.
Salam and shalom. Leave this place knowing that you are good and knowing that you are loved. Blessed be.
Leave, that's yours. Take your dark and your light and your love from this place and share them with the world. And stay safe until we meet again. Amen.
Thank you, everyone. Enjoy coffee hour and conversation, and have a great week. Thank you.